Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Singin' in the Rain. And this movie came out in 1952, and it's considered to be a classic movie, and it's directed by Gene Kelly and Stanley Donen, I think is how you pronounce it. And I thought this movie was pretty good overall. I don't love it as much as many other people do. I thought it was a really enjoyable film, and I can see why it's a classic. I can see why it's held up for so long, and why it's been referenced in pop culture and is continued to be remembered. And I think my first introduction to this movie, or at the very least, me hearing the Singing in the Rain song, was in A Clockwork Orange. So I was like, oh, I haven't seen that yet, but I know where that's from. Watched the movie, and it's pretty good. The pacing was pretty quick in the beginning, and it establishes a lot of things early on. And it's basically just set in the 1920s and struggling with the new era of movies with sound, like where you can actually hear characters talking in movies. So that's a lot of fun to watch, and then they come up with all these different ideas on how to make it, and it's a nice simple plot, and there are parts of this movie that reminded me of Babylon from a few years ago, which I do like, and I think I like them about the same, probably for different reasons, mostly because they're kind of about different things in ways. And I do like this movie's approach to what it's going for. It's very entertaining and doesn't really overstay its welcome. I didn't feel as though the movie was dragging on for too long at many points in the film. I enjoyed the musical numbers and the dance choreography, especially, like with that tap dancing. That was a lot of fun to watch, and I liked the scenes where they're making the movie. That was kind of fun, and pointing out all these different things that just come with the nightmare of a production that you have to face with. And it's kind of interesting and fun to watch. And the comedy in this movie worked pretty well for me, and I was laughing a decent amount. And it's just a very lighthearted, upbeat film that knows what it wants to be, and it doesn't get dragged down by too much. The only parts of this movie that were kind of dull for me is when musical numbers went on for too long, and I don't really feel as though every song in this movie is great. There are some that kind of stick out to me as like, okay, that wasn't as great. Not that they're like offensively bad or just dated or anything like that. It's just that they feel as though they don't really stick with me as well as some other songs. I don't really know the best way to describe it, mostly because this is my first viewing and there's only so much I can say from just one viewing, as opposed to something like, I don't know, Halloween, which I just recently rewatched, where I can say a lot about that movie, and even if I rewatch it, I'm probably going to pick up something new on every watch, like something new to say that I wasn't able to say before because I picked up on something new. Whereas movies that I watch for the first time, little difficult to do that because one viewing, only so much you can say about it. And about 30 minutes into the movie, while I wasn't bored, I was questioning, what's the plot here? What's going on? Where are we headed? And it just felt a little plotless, if that makes sense. I'm not even sure if that's a word, but what I mean by that is it didn't feel as though the movie was focused on having a story. It was just showing you musical numbers and just showing you all the fun that comes with that. And I just felt as though we weren't really going anywhere for a few parts of the movie. And the last 20 minutes, there were moments where I was kind of starting to zone out a bit because I just wasn't connecting with it as much as I probably should have, or as much as other people, I suppose, or at least from what I'm imagining. But still, the movie's good. I'm not like rushing back to it. It's not one of my favorite movies that I all of a sudden just discovered for the first time in my life. I think it's a very solid, enjoyable movie, really great movie from the 50s overall, and I think it's good. So definitely check this movie out if you haven't already, and I did not regret watching it. So With all that being said, I'm going to give Singin' in the Rain a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of Singin' in the Rain, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up. And before I say what that is, I do have to apologize because I said that this video was going to be for When Harry Met Sally, but what I forgot to do was check to see what streaming platforms it was on, and it was not on anyone that I am subscribed to, so that's what happened there. And I'm not interested in getting any more streaming service subscriptions, so that's pretty much what happened there. So sorry about that. I'll get to it another time. But anyways, my next review is going to be for 1978's Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And I think I tried watching this movie once before, and I just kind of gave up, but I'm going to rewatch it to see if my mind has changed on it. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.